The scoreline clearly points to the risk of some gamesmanship here. If you genuinely believe the team are not trying to con you and that emotions are too raw, then you do have the option to abandon. If, though, you have your doubts, you should ask the two teams to play out the remainder of the game. If the home side refuses, then you will have to abandon the game, include full details in your report so that the authorities can investigate.
Welcome back to the Ref Show with David Hurst and with Glenn Turner. This is part 2. And so Mark Hughes is unhappy. So what's new? But he may well have justification for not being unhappy. The Stoke City manager, we'll look at that incident. One or two others we didn't cover in the first half. We did get to Sergio Aguero and the elbow on Winston Reid in Manchester City's win over West Ham. What do you expect to happen now?
Well, you would hope that justice takes its course, wouldn't you? I know there's certainly an outcry from a lot of Manchester United fans for some reason. I understand why now. Yeah. that Aguero is punished retrospectively, and of course that's what we all expect to happen.
Ahead of the Manchester derby, so he could well miss that.
Yep.
And I believe that it's an all-referee panel that will sit in judgment and look at that incident. So I don't think there's much escape for him, do you?
You would think not. However, we don't always get consistency, do we?
We don't. Before we come on to some of the really big talking points, there's just one I'd like to raise here with a match that's not been commented on a great deal. That was Arsenal's good win at Watford by 3-1. Kevin Friend was in charge. There were 6 cautions to one team there. That was Watford. And one of them was for dissent, I noticed, at least one.
I'm fine with that. Fine with that. The refs have been into clubs and players have been warned, have been told what to expect if they're giving it too much of that this season. So well done.
Well, we've seen it throughout the leagues. To be fair, this weekend, players getting second yellows and dismissed for going at the referees, which, like Glenn says, the referees have been in there. Everybody knows where they stand. That's the thing that we can't grasp.
Yeah.
Every player, every manager knows where they stand at this moment in time. And they're still trying to bend the rules.
The thing to weigh up, though, is there's a whole heap of difference between giving a yellow card in a neutral area for dissent or giving a penalty for holding it. Yeah. Now, there's the weight of consequences.
Yeah, the weight of consequences shouldn't really come into the referee or the linesman's mind. It's a matter of, if it's a penalty, it's a penalty. I don't want him to give a penalty if it's not. I don't want him to give a free kick if it's not. I don't want him to give a yellow or a red if it's not.
No.
Making the right decisions. I mean, I say it every time I'm on the show, it's not the easiest job in the world. No. That is for sure. But getting the consistency right, and if it's a penalty decision or a free kick, whatever it is, nail it to the cross and give it.
Before we leave dissent, your former club Sheffield Wednesday had a player sent off, and one of the cards he got was for dissent. It was on his debut as well, David Jones, in the 1-1 draw at Brentford. Now, a lot of Wednesdayites and some journalists are saying, look, it looked really harsh. But I suppose you'll get a few like that in a crackdown.
What you'll also not know as journalists and supporters sitting in the stand is what he said.
It can look harsh, but
you don't know what was said.
So if I actually go up to the referee and have a complete tantrum with him, but phrase it correctly, I'm okay. So it's the words I use, not the actual message that I'm trying to put across.
It's actually words or actions, isn't it?
There is a funny story about that, but I can't tell it on air.
You have to go to one of his after dinners. That's a good one. All right, well, just to lighten it before we get down to mistakes, and there were quite a few at the weekend. Now, Mark Clattenburg, Chelsea 3, Burnley 0. Some of the experts on the site were eulogising over his control of this game, and I noticed a superb advantage for goal 3 as well.
Yeah. Once again. Dino's leading the way, if you like, on recognition of grappling in the penalty area. Clats is leading the way, full stop. Yeah. Top referee. Fabulous advantage. His positioning, but moreover his movement. He runs like Usain Bolt's training partner. He can move, this lad.
When he retires, maybe there's an Olympic career for him then, David, which of course was denied you unfairly during your career.
I missed out on my Olympic career by about 14 stone, I think it was.
You're very good in one particular indoor discipline. Let's put it like that. At the end of the day, he's very good at he's better in the evening than he is during the day. Let's put it like that. Everton 1, Stoke 0. Now then. one manager complaining, we referred to Mark Hughes at the beginning. Okay, he was hard done to a week earlier against Manchester City as well, Stoke there. And this is that Williams allegedly tripped by Bardsley, which however many times you look at it, it's not there, is it?
It was hard done to last week. It was hard done to again this week. You've got to feel sorry for Mark Hughes. Yeah. Goodness me, for me to say that, the amount of earache you gave me down the years takes some saying. But you know, fair's fair. Yeah. 2 weeks. Consistently, he's been hard done to. That's never a penalty.
Are we going to get to the point where now, because we're moving along technology and trying to get things 100% spot on, that we get the videos out? The manager has 3 calls or whatever, 2 calls per half.
That's interesting.
You know, because he would have gone, right, let's have a look at that. Because we don't think it will. Let's have a look. No, it's not.
Because I fear, and you know, the introduction of video technology for whatever, and we've got it for goal line technology, of course, now already, has been mooted for many, many years. And one of the arguments for not introducing it is exactly that. Yeah. Oh, it works now for goal line technology. Let's bring it in for this. Yeah, yeah. Oh, it works now. Let's bring it in for that. And suddenly you've sanitised a game that thrives on controversy.
Yeah. Well, it is a story, a debate for another day, but we will look at it.
Work there, don't they?
Yeah. Hey, and so do ref show presenters. Yeah.
Anyway, let's scrap that idea.
Yeah. Definitely, bad idea. Just to go on to Mark Hughes, where I do query the comments he made post-match, and they were pretty post-match as well. Whereas to quote him, he said he feared that some teams wouldn't get a fair crack of the whip at the start of the season. He's straying into dangerous territory there with what he implies, that some teams might not get a fair crack of the whip.
Yeah. He is. But you can understand his frustrations. I mean, that's 2 weeks out of 2 that his team has been very, very harsh and done out of points.
We'll let him off. Okay, look. Finally, Hull 0, Manchester United 1. Now we don't do vendettas on the ref show. Now believe me, we just go on what the experts see. John Moss was in charge of this match, and we've had 3 ref shows this season. This will be the 3rd time we've highlighted him. Let me say for balance, I just saw the match of the day highlights on this, and with my untrained eye, I thought there was a very tough penalty call, which he didn't give, which I kind of forgave him for, because I thought it was a really hard one for handball, as I say, with my untrained eye. Yeah. And I thought from the highlights that the game was reasonably well controlled. I looked for adverse comment on his performance in the media, and I didn't really see any. Now, Glenn, your favourite referee.
It's not. You know, I have no favourite referees. I haven't got referees who I intentionally go out to nail. I would love John Moss to put in a good performance and be ref camming it. I'd love to be able to say you've had a great game, John Moss. This is 3 weeks out of 3 where the referee has made key match errors.
Now, the Myler handball call hits him quite high on the arm. Okay, that is part of his hand. Yeah. Dean part of his hand. In real time, it looked real hard to call. It wasn't given.
John Moss had a fabulous viewing angle on that one, and John Moss should have given it. However, he may well have called for some assistance from Eddie Smart. But I tell you what, if I'd been Eddie Smart, I wouldn't have dug him out on that one either.
Why not?
Because just prior to that penalty handball incident, Eddie Smart gave him a fabulous free kick. It was a foul, and Eddie Smart, he gave John time to lead and give the free kick. John missed it again completely, so Eddie Smart quite rightly stuck his flag up and gave the free kick. John Moss, he dismissed Eddie Smart in such an open and rude, arrogant manner. He threw his arm at him and put it out. In fact, it was commented on by the TV channel that was covering it.
Yeah, the live action.
The way that he put him down, it was dreadful and disrespectful. And I tell you, at that point, I'd have done what Eddie Smart did on the penalty and gone, okay, you treat me like that, I'll do ball in and out to play an offside, and we'll have a word about this at half time.
Human nature kicks in then, Hurst.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, I totally agree with what Glenn's saying. Yeah. You know, if you're going to dismiss me like that, then I'm going to have to let you run the game. Yeah. You come to me when you want an answer, and then I'll answer you. Yeah. But other than that, You run the game.
That is just a
Interesting.
awful lack of teamwork for me.
Interesting point that it wasn't just the key incident itself that you know
what leads up
it
to
was
it.
what led up
Yeah.
to it that was really important.
Yeah.
We
If
live in
if you've got a fallout with your team, you're going to have a bit of a struggle of a day, aren't you?
Goodness. There
Let's be
comes a
fair.
point where you
and
need
I've
it,
fallen
where
out
you
with
need
you
them.
two. So I'm killing it now.
That's it. It's
End of the show. Thanks as ever, boys. It was really entertaining. Thank you to you for watching. Look forward to your queries on the show and anything else as per usual. And look forward to welcoming you again next week. See you then.